Next on NCBA's Cattleman to Cattleman.
On this week's edition of NCBA's Cattleman to Cattleman, we take a look at the importance of the Beef Quality Assurance Program.
And now, NCBA's Cattleman to Cattleman with host Kevin Oxner.
Hello and welcome to this week's edition of NCBA's Cattleman to Cattleman. I'm Kevin Oxner. Thanks for joining us. This week, we're taking a closer look at both the National Cattlemen's Beef Association and the Beef Quality Assurance Program. Quality, it's the cornerstone of any successful product, and it's something the Chekhov-funded Beef Quality Assurance Program works on each and every day. BQA, a program managed by the National Cattlemen's Association, works with cattlemen across the country to teach and implement best practices on all types of operations. Over the next several months, we'll be working with Dr. Tom Field and his team to learn more. Cattleman to Cattleman recently had a chance to catch up with the BQA team at the Colorado State University farm north of Fort Collins, Colorado.
Hello, I'm Tom Field.
I'm Ryan Rupert.
I'm Brad Schneider. Today we're here in Fort Collins, Colorado at Colorado State University. We're here to talk about beef quality assurance. BQA is a total quality management program practiced 365 days a year, rain or shine. We're out here caring for the cattle.
BQA is a nationally coordinated program that's implemented at your state level. BQA reaches across the cow-calf, the stocker, and the feed yard stages.
Our BQA team will be bringing you a series of educational modules designed to help introduce you to the principles of quality assurance and to expose you to the tactics and the strategies and the protocols so that you can implement a BQA program on your farm or ranch operation. Funded by your Chekhov dollars, these educational modules will hopefully provide us even better tools so that we can provide the world's consumers the very best beef available in the marketplace today. Like many of you, I'm proud to be an American cattleman. My family started ranching in Colorado when my ancestors homesteaded in Grand County in the late 1870s. A lot's changed since then, but some things remain constant. Ride for the brand, be loyal to the outfit, give an honest day's work for an honest day's pay. These are the values that have fueled our passion to produce the world's very best beef. Those values, coupled with our desire to be great stewards of the land, the livestock, and the resources under our care, provide the basis for the story of beef quality assurance.
As a fifth-generation rancher, I understand the importance of having a strong foundation to create a quality program. Beef Quality Assurance has 6 key concepts to help you develop that quality within your own operation. These 6 key areas are feedstuff management, animal health care product management, record keeping and documentation, care and husbandry practices including appropriate cattle handling and transportation, interacting with the herd veterinarian, and building effective standardized processes supported by employee training.
The beef story begins here with the birth of a new calf crop. Every decision that's made from the cow-calf level all the way through the supply chain affects the quality of the product that we provide consumers. BQA is a systematic program designed to help cow-calf producers, stockers, cattle feeders, and dairy producers make deliberate, conscious decisions about the way that we can affect the quality of our end product, beef.
I'm here with Jason Ahola, beef production professor at Colorado State. Jason, would you tell us a little bit about how the BQA national guidelines were developed?
Yeah, the national BQA guidelines were developed with a partnership between veterinarians and producers so that they could be generally agreed upon by cattle producers, but also scientifically based, so that they could be utilized across the country and common across multiple state BQA programs. And then those guidelines are used by the states to train producers in BQA procedures.
Can you tell us a little bit about how the state program works with the national program?
I really like the relationship between state and national. What makes it unique is the fact that guidelines and resources are developed at the national level, and they're provided to the states to be able to implement beef quality assurance education and training and certification programs. The benefit of that is that it's grassroots driven, and it's something that producers can be involved in, and the programs can be altered to be able to cater to states in different parts of the country or with different classes of cattle.
How would a producer at home contact their state coordinator so that they can become BQA certified?
Pretty much every state has a BQA coordinator, or in some cases co-coordinators. These coordinators can be contacted by a variety of means. For instance, producers can contact their state cattlemen's association. They can contact cooperative extension in their state. They can also contact their state beef council. And there's also the national website at bqa.org where state BQA coordinators are listed.
These are chaotic times in the cattle industry. There's a lot of talk about sustaining profitability, finding ways to conform to growing levels of government regulation, and trying to understand how we make our industry sustainable. But at the end of the day, our industry depends on our ability to deliver a great product to consumers. The day that consumers choose to not pick our product, beef, for dinner, is the day that our industry faces a rough and rocky road. Fortunately, some 30 years ago, a group of beef industry leaders had the vision, the foresight, and really the courage to build the program that would eventually become Beef Quality Assurance Program, or BQA. BQA gives us the roadmap to deliver products that are both wholesome, nutritious, and delicious, and that earn the trust of consumers not only here, but abroad as well.
We're here with Jason Ahola, Professor of Beef Cattle Production at Colorado State University. Jason, can you explain some of the roles of the veterinarian in the BQA program?
Yeah, I think it's really important when you consider beef quality assurance that the veterinarian and the producer should be considered partners. And I think this is highlighted with the veterinary client-patient relationship, which is really fundamental to the use of any animal health products.
Can you highlight the importance of record keeping in the veterinary client-patient relationship?
I think it is important to have a record-keeping system in place, and one of the things that does help is it helps the veterinarian and the producer communicate better to understand what has been done or has not been done. Some of the forms include individual record-keeping relative to what drugs or vaccines were given to specific animals.
Are there any closing comments you'd like to leave with the viewers in regards to important things that they should consider when working with their veterinarian?
I think it's just important for them to consider their veterinarian as their partner, as someone that they should be proactive with, and as someone that communicate with regularly about animal health rather than to wait and be reactive.
Quality is really about doing the right thing even when nobody is looking. I'd like to share a story with you from a friend of mine who commands a Marine unit in Afghanistan. He sent me a picture recently of a young Marine whose job it was during company formations to carry company colors. And unfortunately, 2 of his comrades had been killed in combat, and they were preparing for a memorial service. And this young Marine, sitting off to the side in the dust and the sand, polishing the tip of the standard that would carry the company colors. As my friend related, this was not expected. It's not required that he take the time to honor his comrades in that remote part of the world by doing the last little bit that really meant the commitment to quality that characterizes the Marine Corps. I share that story because in our business, it's our job 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, in good times and bad times, when it's easy and when it's difficult, to remember that young Marine and always do the right thing. Beef quality is really a reflection of the entire beef supply chain, from farm to fork. Quality beef is not a simple deal. It takes hard work, perseverance, dedication, and commitment. And each one of us in this industry, whether we're working as an employee, as a manager, or as an owner, have an obligation and a commitment to supplying quality to our ultimate consumer. Quality is more than a protocol. It's an attitude. It's a way of thinking about our business and a way of assuring that we are doing the right thing for our consumers. Perhaps Tom Peters and Nancy Austin put it best in their book, Passion for Excellence, when they said, "The heart of quality is not technique. It is a commitment by management to its people and to its products, stretching over a period of decades and lived with persistence and passion." We look forward to bringing you additional educational modules about beef quality assurance and the opportunity to help you build brand equity for your farm and ranch through beef quality assurance.
Quality is about doing the right thing 365 days a year. And as you can see, quality is not for the faint-hearted. Building and sustaining a quality program takes commitment and pride in what you do to instill in your entire family or your employees that same passion that you have for the cattle and the product that you produce.
So stay tuned as we bring you the BQA story. For more information on beef quality assurance, go to www.bqa.org.
Become certified in beef quality assurance. For more information, visit cattlemantocattleman.org. We'll be right back.
I'd like a moment with you cow-calf folks to talk about BQA, the Beef Quality Assurance Program. BQA has been designed to reduce bruises, blemishes, lamenesses, and impolite behavior in the calves you market. The point is to guarantee as best we can to our buyers and to consumers that we cattlemen know what we're doing, that we're treating our animals right, and the meat they buy is safe and wholesome. Now, most of the big feedlots and ranchers have signed on already, but that leaves the rest of us, and even if you only have 20 cows and a job in town, you need to be involved. Because every calf you sell is going to wind up on a plate someday, and we want our customers, all of them, to have a great dining experience, right? BQA helps furnish you with management tools and useful information to increase the value of your calves. So check it out at bqa.org and see what it takes to be involved in your state, because it's the right thing to do.
Your feedlot is a pack-on-the-pounds enterprise where your goal is to get the animals to market fast. Every minute counts as you battle the weather, livestock genetics, and health issues. Now there's a powerful new dual-action therapy for the hospital pen that shares your need for fast action. Resflor Gold. Ask your veterinarian about Resflor Gold. See improvement in as few as 6 hours with Resflor Gold.
Quality matters to me because I put the finishing touches on the cattle I feed. I search for the highest quality forages and provide a comfortable environment that allow the animals to thrive and grow. I'm the last person that has an impact on the quality and consistency of the product that goes to the consumer. And that matters to me and the crew that I manage. I'm proud of what we'll do here today.
Welcome back. It's an amazing story of triumph over adversity, and it's one you're probably familiar with. Chris Gardner's life story was turned into a movie called The Pursuit of Happiness, starring Will Smith. He spoke to cattlemen at this year's meeting in San Antonio, and I had a chance to visit with him and ask him a few questions about his life and his advice to cattlemen. I'm Kevin Oxford at the 2010 Cattle Industry Annual Convention and NCBA Trade Show, and here with me is Chris Gardner, our keynote speaker. We really appreciate your message today, Chris. Would you tell me, to begin with, for those people who may not be as familiar with the Pursuit of Happiness film, of course the film that was based on your life story, share with us just a couple of comments about the rags to riches story that you've gone through.
Well, first of all, for me personally, it's not a rags to riches story. It's a love story between the father and the child. And I've heard it described as rags to riches, but it's about a man who was committed to giving his son something he never had, which was a father. And that's priceless. That's bigger than rags to riches.
I think there's a lot of us that believe that in this industry and around America. Now tell me this, in the story or in the movie, it shows that you were down to $20 in your pocket. Is that you slept in a bathroom with your son in a subway station?
$20 would have been a good day. I probably could have made it, all right? Unfortunately, a whole lot of Americans right now are finding out that $20 bill, looking in their wallets right now, working men and women looking in their wallets right now, trying to figure out how they can make that $20 bill last till the next payday, okay? And as far as sleeping in bathrooms and airports and train stations, again, unfortunately, too many Americans right now are finding out that, let me put it this way, 12 to 30% of all the homeless people in America have jobs and go to work every day. There's been a new class of homeless people created in our country, and I call it white-collar homeless.
That's a great point. And tell me this, as you think about the situation in America today, I know you made some personal sacrifices and thought it a choice rather to be a victor as opposed to a victim. What would you tell people who have been given a set of circumstances that they didn't ask for, didn't deserve, but what would you tell them regarding being a victor?
Chris Gardner is not doing anything that you could not do. This is still the greatest country in the world. And it's a difficult time right now. And you know what I really would say to him? Look, when everything was going good and the economy was going up, nobody was crying. Economies, cycles go up and down. The question is going to be, this thing's going to turn, and it will, like they always do. The big question is, who are we going to be when it does turn? Are we going to be the same people who had the same values before the music stopped and the bubble burst? Or are we going to take this time now to say, what's really important to me? What do I really care about? This could be that time.
That's a great message. And you know, there's a lot of people in this business who are in this business because they have a passion and a dream, much like you had.
Oh, man.
And I would just ask, what would you tell cattle producers who are facing some tough times about keeping hold of that dream?
One of the scenes that people comment about most to me in the movie is the scene that takes place on the basketball court. The way you saw it filmed is not the way it was written. As it was written, the little boy throws up the ball and says, I'm going to go pro. The father says, forget it. You can never do it. I couldn't do it, so that means you couldn't do it. I waited until we were going to film that scene that day, and I went up to Will Smith and I said, you can't tell that to that little boy, because that's not what my mom told me. We had a very intense, heated discussion, and we tore up the script right there on the spot, and we wrote, don't ever let somebody else tell you what you can't do. You got a dream, you got to protect it. You want something, go get it. That's the American way.
What a powerful message to all Americans and specifically to cattlemen. You're a great dad, a wonderful American, and a great example to us all. Thanks for joining us at the convention.
Sure. Thank you for having me. All right, wait, before you go, to all the cattlemen out there, I want to show you one thing. Man.
Hook 'em horns. For more information on Chris Gardner and his amazing life story,
visit our website at cattlemantocattleman.org.
Discover a great roundup for beef producers. Now, Boehringer Ingelheim Vetmedica Incorporated has rounded up the top brands of animal health products. You bet your boots you won't find more ways to protect your cattle. So trust the leader to protect your cattle. Trust Boehringer Ingelheim. Talk to your Boehringer Ingelheim animal health representative and discover how we can help your operation.
Before you head out here, get ready at Cabela's, your source for the hottest new gear at tough-to-beat prices. Save big on everything you need when you shop by catalog, stores, and online at Cabela's.com. Our legendary selection is field-tested and field-proven. You can trust our gear. Cabela's, world's foremost outfitter.
The countdown to savings is on. Get to your John Deere dealer today and get a great deal on great hay equipment that delivers more productivity in every pass. See us before July 31st and choose huge cash-off savings or 0% financing on John Deere quality balers, mower conditioners, and pull-type forage harvesters. See your John Deere dealer for quality hay tools from start to finish. Offer ends July 31st. Offer subject to approved credit on John Deere credit installment plan. See dealer for details.
From fresh tomatoes to potatoes and chicken to beef, we're as picky about our quality ingredients as you are. Because that's what we're made of.
Welcome back. During the past year, more than 1,000 beef producers have graduated with an MBA. That's MBA as in Master of Beef Advocacy. It's a beef checkoff program started last March to mobilize cattle producers as active spokespeople for the industry. We have more from Cattleman to Cattleman reporter Justin Field.
Twitter, lots of people do these days. It and other online social media tools are being encouraged to help inform consumers about beef and cattle production. These tools are too popular to be ignored.
Social media is growing by leaps and bounds, and I think people are starting to see how effective a tool it can be when it comes to talking about farming and ranching and promoting the beef industry. And so I think there's a lot of excitement on there. And when people actually get on there and get to using it, they can realize how easy it really is.
We have an opportunity now to take our story, the story of modern beef production, straight to the consumer through these powerful tools on the internet. And more agriculture and beef producers in particular, through the Masters of Beef Advocacy program, are taking advantage of that opportunity and telling our story to consumers every day in the online social media environment.
The potential audience is huge, and it's growing.
350 million people on Facebook now, and Facebook is just a way to keep up together with friends and fans that want to follow you. And so right there is an excellent way to talk about what we do on our farms and ranches and tell people the story of beef production. And then things like Twitter are also another useful tool where you can send out short messages and status updates about what you're doing, and it's another really easy way to promote the beef industry as well. And there's lots of other tools like YouTube and LinkedIn that we can use, and we don't need to be using all of them, but today's conversations are taking place online, and we need to make sure that we're using some of those to tell our story.
Many producers may feel they don't have time for these kinds of activities, but only 2% of the population is involved in agriculture, so the job of cattlemen is expanding.
The reality of today is that the things we do off the farm, going out and telling our story, are probably just as important as the things we're doing on our farms and ranches today, taking care of our livestock. We have to be out there explaining to people who we are, what we do, and why and how we are caring for our livestock. And it's a great medium to get that done.
Traditional media is also evolving, but not necessarily for the better.
With the mainstream media climate today being very opinionated, really, about modern beef production, we can use social media tools to engage in the political debate, the philosophical debate, the social debate about modern food production and how we're going to produce enough food to feed a growing world population, and engage in that debate with consumers in this global online environment. It's very important.
Luckily, when it comes to developing good sources of information, agriculture has a leg up.
Farmers and ranchers are considered one of the most trustworthy sources of information, and as a group of people, we're considered very trustworthy. So when we can get on there and explain to people who we are and what we do and what our connection to agriculture is, we become a very valuable source of information to consumers, because most of them have never actually met a real farmer or a real rancher, and this gives them an opportunity to do that.
Social media is about using all of the tools at your disposal to do a job that needs to be done.
The Masters of Beef Advocacy program is very much focused on using social media tools and equipping beef producers, whether you're internet savvy or not, to engage in this new way of communicating our story to consumers.
Using online social media tools is just another thing we can do. If that's not where your comfort level is, then go out and tell your story face to face with a handshake and looking people in the eye. And really, that's still our best way of telling our story. That's never going to be replaced with a computer, but we have to be where these conversations are taking place, and a lot of them are taking place online today.
Reporting for NCBA's Cattleman to Cattleman, I'm Justin Field.
Social media is a growing phenomenon that cattlemen can and should participate in. Joining me in the studio today is Meredith Stevens, Digital Marketing Manager at NCBA. Thanks for coming to the show, Meredith.
Thanks for having me.
Well, tell us, first of all, what do you do for NCBA and specifically with the Beef Checkoff?
Sure. Primarily, I work on our consumer-facing website, beefitswhatsfordinner.com, as well as our Beef for Dinner mobile site, so consumers can access on the go when they're at the meat case. I also do the weekly e-newsletter, Beef So Simple, and also some social media tools like Twitter and Facebook and YouTube, as well as working with some state beef councils, for example, like California Beef Council, with an upcoming YouTube contest.
Oh, that sounds exciting. You mentioned Facebook and Twitter, and you know, all of us have heard about it. Some of us are on it, but I think it's still unclear how can we use those tools to inform consumers not only about beef, but about cattle production.
Sure. So one thing to know is that Twitter is called a microblogging site. So the reason that is because your posts, or tweets they call them, are restricted to 140 characters. So you can use links and ways to get your message across, but it's just using those tools in the way that they're designed to be communicated with. Facebook is a social networking site, so that it allows you to kind of upload photo albums and really become fans of your favorite companies or brands that you like to engage with. So that first knowing that how to use those tools is important. What's unique with cattlemen is they have such a great story to tell. And nowadays, consumers are so beyond where their food comes from. They're not quite sure. There's a loss there. There's no connection. So Twitter and Facebook are great tools that cattlemen can share their stories, engage with people, because they're talking about food. They're on Facebook saying, gosh, I'm leaving for work. I'm going to go to the grocery store. What should I buy? What new marinade should I use in my beef choice? So it's a great tool to use and kind of engage with that community.
That's interesting. What other electronic tools would you recommend for cattlemen?
Sure. Well, the important thing is don't just do something because it's out there. Do what works for you. So if you like to take pictures when you're out on your farm, use something like Flickr, which is a photo sharing site where you can upload those and tag those with different key terms. So when people are searching for beef, those pictures come up. There's YouTube if you like to shoot videos when you're on the farm or your ranch. Shoot videos and upload those and really just engage with folks in the way that they're using them.
That's a great suggestion. And tell me this, for those of us that may not be as advanced as you clearly are in this, what would be some suggestions for how folks can get started just sharing their story online?
It's easy. The first thing I like to do is listen. Go into a blog, find a blog that you like to read, post a comment, share your opinion, kind of start that two-way dialogue with people, because it's really just conversations. People online having conversations about food, nutrition, and what you're doing in your life. So really listening is an easy thing you can start doing. The next thing, if you really want to kind of take it to the next level, is start a page. I know it can be scary sometimes, but get online, get on Facebook, start your own profile, kind of experiment. Everybody's learning in online and with social media in particular, so the easiest thing to do is really just get online and try it.
Yeah, and I'm online. They shame me into being online with Cattleman to Cattleman and our Facebook page, so I did get online. Not very good at that, but these are some great tips. What other advice would you give folks that are kind of intrigued by what you've had to say today?
Sure. Well, the one thing about social media that's really, you've heard it in mainstream media, traditional media, magazine articles, everybody's talking about Twitter and Facebook in particular. The reason is because a lot of reporters nowadays are finding their news or trends or things, focus groups almost, because they're monitoring these social media sites. So it's important to know that those conversations, they're being looked at. People are paying attention to those, and they're paying attention to what people are saying. So you really want to just engage with them, take your time. Really listening is easiest with a blogger. But Twitter and Facebook, maybe it's just, with a friend, getting together and saying, hey, how do I engage with these folks? And remember, it's a two-way dialogue. It's really just, instead of an in-person conversation, it's online. And so it's really that two-way dialogue with people, because you're not trying to necessarily change their opinions, and it's not going to happen overnight, but you just want to share your story, because we all have a story to tell.
That's great. And we've often talked about getting our message out. What better way to do it than electronically?
Exactly.
Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you.
You bet. For details on NCBA's social media programs, or to become a fan of this show on Facebook, visit our website at cattlemantocattleman.org. Cattlemen and women come in all shapes and sizes and ages. At the National Western Stock Show earlier this year, we got to know some budding stars who will soon make their mark in our industry. Cattleman to Cattleman reporter Justin Field has more.
Working with cattle takes patience and plenty of practice. Shows designed for young people, such as the Regional Red Angus Junior Heifer Show at Denver's National Western Stock Show, provide a great training ground for tomorrow's cattle industry professionals.
The show adds a lot of excitement on the junior level, really brings kids in and lets them learn responsibility and being a part of something that's bigger to them. They make a lot of contacts that last for life, and it really gives them a positive experience in agriculture in general, beyond just the show ring. Teaches them a lot about beef and the beef industry, but the most important thing is just the learning from their hard work and the responsibilities that they have, that they put into all these cattle, and this is their chance to exhibit that and show it off.
Though these shows can be a lot of fun, there's also much to accomplish.
There's a lot of work that goes into the day's preparation to get these animals ready. They start early in the morning and work all day to have them ready to go out here to show off. But the real work and the labor that goes into this has a lot more to do with what happens at home before they get here. These kids are feeding and caring for these animals twice a day, every day. They're working with them, getting them broke to the halter where they can lead them around and they're not scared or flighty. They're working with them on an everyday basis. A lot of them will put them through and be washing them and combing them, brushing them out every day. Not to mention the things like as these heifers grow up and they're breeding them and calving them out, and creating the next generation.
When it's their time in the ring, competitors learn quickly that judges aren't all the same.
All judges are going to look for structure and conformation. And when we say that, what they're looking for is cattle that'll hold up and do things the way they need to. No different than an athlete. We expect our cattle to have some athleticism, be able to do the jobs that they need to do and survive out on the pasture to produce the beef that we all eat. They'll also look at performance data, how the cattle have grown, what they've done, ultrasound data. The most important things that they'll look at will be structural conformation, how they walk, how they travel, overall eye appeal, and their EPDs, their genetic potential. That really is what they pass on to the next generation.
Showmanship is a huge part of the competition, and the interaction between showman and animal means a lot to the judges.
The thing that makes them stand out to the judge is how well I set them up and how well I can present her to the judge, because a good showman and a bad showman can show an animal totally different, and the animal's going to look complete opposite. And so I just need to remember how to show her, which I've done all summer, and just do my best.
About 60 young people participated in this year's Junior Red Angus Show at National Western. These competitors knew that not everyone could end up in first place.
I placed third in class, and the judges said that she wasn't quite the heifer she was looking for, but he really liked her, and she just needed to walk a little better, which I totally agree with her because she was being very lazy.
Young people interested in cattle would benefit from participating in junior cattle shows.
It's a lot of hard work, but it's definitely worth it. Whatever you put into something, you're going to get that much out of it. And so, it's a great learning experience, and you can learn so much leadership and communication skills, and just grow as a person as well.
Reporting from the National Western Stock Show in Denver, I'm Justin Field for NCBA's Cattleman to Cattleman.
Now, if you'd like to learn more about getting involved in junior cattle shows in your area, contact your local or state cattlemen's or breed association, or just go to our website at cattlemantocattleman.org.
I'd like a moment with you dairymen, and if you're watching this, I'll assume you're done milking, to talk about the Dairy Beef Quality Assurance Program. DBQA has been designed to reduce lameness, bruises, and impolite behavior in the dairy cows and calves and steers that you're going to market for beef. The point is to guarantee as best we can to your buyers and to the consumer that we know what we're doing, that we're treating our animals right, and that the meat they buy is safe and wholesome. Because every milk cow and dairy calf you sell is going to wind up on a plate someday, and we want to make sure that our consumers have a great dining experience, right? Dairy BQA helps furnish you with management tools and useful information to increase the value of the cattle you market. So I invite y'all to check it out at dbqa.org. See what it takes to be involved in your state. Because, well, it's the right thing to do.
Comprehensive, practical, powerful. Now's the time to put the power of DNA to work in your herd with the comprehensive Identity Profile. The inside information from Identity can help you make more confident replacement heifer and herd sire selection decisions, add marketability to your feeder cattle, make faster genetic progress, and more. The best time to get started is when you're already working cattle, during branding, weaning, or bull soundness exams. Get started today. Visit iGenity.com or call 1-877-IGENITY to put the power of DNA to work in your herd.
You're not responsible for the weather, just the cattle. And Rangeland works as hard as you do to deliver performance, production, and profitability. Cattle need consistent nutrition. They'll get it year-round with Rangeland products from Land O'Lakes. Deliver what they need free choice in weather-resistant loose minerals and mineral and protein tubs. Get the most out of your forage. See your Land O'Lakes Co-op for products that will stand up to whatever Mother Nature throws at us. Weather's coming in. Rangeland. Consider it done.
Welcome back. In these volatile economic times, many cattlemen are finding unique ways to improve their profitability. Cattleman to Cattleman reporter Mandy Carr-Johnson has more from Alabama.
Every cattle operation isn't known just for cattle. Many, like Sunshine Farms in central Alabama, wear many hats, and they all seem to fit.
I was born into it in 1940 and been in peaches ever since then, except for a few years that I was in service. We ventured into tomatoes, and then when my son got old enough, we got into the cattle, and then he started a U-pick strawberry operation about 15 years ago, and we're still in that.
We have people drive for 150 miles from here to come pick these strawberries, bring their kids, grandkids. We only have 6 acres, but you know, on that 6 acres, there's over 100,000 plants. So you go to counting strawberries per plant, it can add up to a lot of strawberries in a year's time.
Sunshine Farms has strawberries, tomatoes, peach trees, horses, and even an entertainment farm in the fall. But when the decision was made to get more serious about cattle, it was made deliberately.
In '93, I was a county agent here, and Tim Minor came in and wanted to sort of do a little different in the cattle operation instead of running commercial cattle. And I'd been involved in the genetic side of cattle business for many years, and recommended doing a crossbreeding with a Simmental and Angus, primarily to make females for the ideal brood cow for this part of the world. So we bought 30 Angus cows and started crossing them, and we started keeping the bulls and selling them for herd sires for the commercial guys. And the females, they just didn't decide not to sell any, so they kept them and built a herd up to almost 400 head, and we started a bull sale in 1998. We are the largest Simmental breeder in the state of Alabama in terms of numbers registered. We've had the highest averaging yearling bull sale of all breeds in the southeast now for 4 or 5 years. So we just we invite folks to come, and we think we got a product that'll help people throughout the beef industry.
And it's not just about the products at Sunshine Farms, it's about the people.
I started here in 2001 when I come out of college and have been here since. I'm not genetically family, but they treat me like family. We all eat Thanksgiving, Christmas dinner together. So I'm raising my kids on the farm, and that's, like I said, we're all family that work here.
It's a people thing. You know, we are very blessed with the people that work with us. We're very sincere when we talk about people don't work for us. The employees, they work with us. We're all kind of partners in this thing, because if any part of it fails, we all kind of lose.
We're very diversified, and our jobs change day to day. My main job is cattle and horses and livestock, but I know that one day I could be thinning peach trees or picking strawberries and spraying them, so it's just a day-to-day change.
We have a meeting every morning before any of us go to the field. We all meet and decide who's going which way today. And it's something you run through your head every night, and they do the same thing, and then we sort it out the next morning and go do it. And it makes it a lot easier.
Whether it's fruit or cattle, it takes a broad vision and a positive outlook to be successful.
If you're not optimistic, you couldn't stand this pressure, I don't think, from the day-to-day work. But in a thing, peaches, they set a tree, and it's 4 years before it's in production, and hopes to last 10 to 12 years. So when you set a tree, you're looking 15 years down the road. When we breed cattle, we're looking 2 years down the road to get the product on land. If it's a female, hopefully she'll last 10 years. So anything we do, we're looking 12 to 15 years down the road.
To achieve anything, you got to be prepared to dabble on the boundary of disaster. We dabble every day. When somebody tells you it's not about money, you can bet it's always about the money. You got to have it to make things happen out here. But I can grant you this too, and I firmly believe this: if you forget about your people along the way, you're destined for failure. If you surround yourself with good folks, good things are going to happen. You work hard and you pray hard, good things will happen.
Durbin says working outside and being your own boss is a reward in itself.
It's just something that we love. You know, it's kind of like smelling plowed ground, smelling these blooms, these blossoms when they're out here, and to see a ripe peach, and to see a kid sitting on the strawberry bed picking a you-pick strawberry with juice running off their elbows. It's that type of stuff.
Reporting from Sunshine Farms in Central Alabama, I'm Mandy Carr Johnson for NCBA's Cattleman to Cattleman.
We love featuring America's cattlemen on our show. Send us your story ideas. Just email us at cattleman@beef.org, or find us on Facebook by searching for NCBA's Cattleman to Cattleman. Livestock auctions play a vital role for both sellers and buyers in the beef industry. With technology expanding quickly, there's now another way to be a part of the action. Reporter Brian Baxter visits the Livestock Marketing Association in Kansas City, Missouri, to learn about their new online auction opportunities.
With the click of a mouse, cattlemen can now buy and sell cattle from across the country, all from the comfort of home.
The LMAauctions.com system is an internet-based technology that streams real live livestock and cattle auctions. Bidders and viewers from across the country can log in and participate in a sale just like they were sitting there in their local community on the seats.
Many cattlemen are taking advantage of the program. In fact, there are currently over 25,000 registered viewers, and LMA broadcasts the sale of almost 4 million head of cattle every year.
They're participating from all across North America, and that number is growing by about 2% every month. So new viewers, new bidders are coming online.
With so many new people coming on board, LMA already has plans to expand the program.
The number of markets that are signing up to come on board is astounding. We were scheduling actually 2 additional installations with markets in South Dakota, branching further into Texas, as well as markets in Iowa and Kansas as well. And each market that signs up brings with it a larger bidder and viewer base.
But make no mistake, they aren't trying to replace traditional livestock auctions with online ones. They're just using new tools to enhance the experience.
We see that the internet has amazing potential as far as the convenience, the speed, and then just the countless marketing opportunities that it brings to the traditional livestock auction markets. But we don't see it replacing the local livestock auction markets, because behind any computer screen there has to be the people that are supporting it. And the sale of livestock is a people business.
And there's plenty to choose from. LMA has 60 of their member auction markets broadcasting live each week.
If viewers go on and check out the site, they'll see the currently broadcasting auctions as well as upcoming sales, and can really take a look and see where the markets are that they'd be interested in doing business with.
LMA knows that new technology comes with a learning curve, so they're standing by to help anyone that needs a little extra coaching.
We understand their challenges. We understand that they may not be as confident and as comfortable going online, clicking to bid, and using the equipment that's necessary to participate. But myself and our support staff, we work with them daily, 24 hours a day if necessary, to help them get involved and bid and purchase cattle online.
At the end of the day, they want to use the online auctions to contribute to a successful sale with happy buyers and sellers.
We're taking a very traditional industry, showcasing it and showing the world that the American beef industry and the local livestock auction markets are viable and here to stay.
For NCBA's Cattleman to Cattleman, I'm Brian Baxter.
LMA auctions are held Monday through Friday, with regularly scheduled special sales on the weekend. If you're interested in participating in their online auctions or streaming your own sales live with LMA, you can find all the information you need at cattlemantocattleman.org. We'll be right back.
Draxxin, clearly cattlemen's #1 choice to fight BRD. Here's why.
Nothing is more depressing in a stalker business as the doctor, and you still have your chronics, you still have your death loss. And with Draxxin, we just found out that, especially with microplasts, you just had to be there to see the results.
And the evidence backs up what most cattlemen already know. Draxxin cuts chronics and mortalities by 70%. So talk to your veterinarian and check the online calculator at Draxxin.com. You'll see, nothing gives you more for your money when you're fighting BRD.
Just a great antibiotic.
Very, very effective. Don't let the price tag scare you. It's a no-brainer. You just use it.
Do not use in female dairy cattle 20 months of age or older. Do not use in calves to be processed for veal. Draxxin has a pre-slaughter withdrawal time of 18 days. Please visit Draxxin.com or call 1-888-DRAXXIN for more information.
Join the National Cattlemen's Beef Association. NCBA is the premier cattle industry organization representing your best interests in Washington, D.C. and across the country.
I want to have my voice heard, and this is the strongest way I can speak it, is through NCBA. And my little voice gets a lot of magnitude with this group.
Well, I've been an NCBA member for a long time. My family thoroughly believes in giving back to the industry that they make a living from, and I've carried that on from generation to generation, and this is the organization of choice for the beef industry.
Every day, NCBA works to represent you on issues including trade, taxes, food safety and nutrition, animal welfare, and the environment.
The main reason I'm an NCBA member is to become engaged, more knowledgeable about everything that's going on in the beef industry.
It's easy to join NCBA. Just visit beefusa.org or call us at 1-866-USA-BEEF.
Why is B&W's turnover ball the best-selling gooseneck hitch in the country? Maybe it's the ingenious way it solves everyday problems. Or because it's time-tested and is rated to tow 30,000 pounds. Maybe it's because our lifetime warranty gives hard-working people peace of mind. Or maybe it's because folks love to own a hitch that's still 100% made in America. The Turnover Ball by B&W. Trusted.
So what do you care if your cattle are source and age verified? Better yet, do you think the housewife cares? Well, 70% of consumers surveyed want to know where their food comes from. So where do you start? With this little green ear tag. IMI Global is the seal of approval that stands behind the beef you produced. IMI is engaged in source and age verification from the cowman to the kitchen table. So if you're ready to start, just ask us. IMIGlobal.com.
When I was a practicing veterinarian, I did a lot of work on ranches. And in the winter, there is not a lot of heavy work to be done. Just feed the cows and worry, mostly. But these ranchers have a lifetime habit of getting up early. But in the winter, daylight is a long time away, so it leaves them lots of time to kill before dawn. And that's when they call. It's always been a mystery, in the winter when it's slow, why a rancher gets up early when he's got no place to go. He prowls around the kitchen like a burglar on parole in his air-conditioned slippers with a toe there in the hole, and then he builds a pot of coffee and has a little cup. Till he thinks of some good reason to wake somebody up. And all around the valley, folks are nestled in their bed, unaware an egg is hatching in the rancher's little head. He reread the livestock paper since getting up alone, but he's still not quite decided just who he's going to phone. The assistant county agent, the forest ranger's boss, the banker, brand inspector, the commissioner that lost the vet, the co-op salesman, though he can't recall his name, but it really doesn't matter because anybody's game. And he quivers like a panther about to pounce his prey as the innocent lay sleeping just a dial tone away. And by daylight it's all over, and he's reached a fever pitch, and the way he's stomping around the house, his wife is wondering which potential victim got the call and had his brain massaged with the lecture she, just yesterday, herself had tried to dodge. But little does she realize just why he's in a tizzy. See, his neighbors got up earlier, and all the lines were busy. This is Baxter Black from out there.
We're sorry, the number you have reached
Hello?
is not in service.
Hello?
This is a recording.
Thanks for joining us on this week's edition of NCBA's Cattleman to Cattleman. We'll look forward to seeing you right back here next week on RFD TV.